discovering how to fully indulge in the present moment, savoring every experience, every morsel, and every breath, unlocking the deeper appreciation for the beauty of life and the Mediterranean lifestyle.
Oh, live your life. Get inspired and cherish moments with food, travel, cooking, the Mediterranean way.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno a te.
What is Sunday in Italian?
Domenica.
Domenica.
Buona domenica a tutti.
I'm so excited to be back again with the Anita and Dario show. We're working on a little bit of ways of how to be able to put this out best, and looking forward to all your questions that we're having with the Anita and Dario show. And today we're going to be talking about the myths around the Mediterranean diet. What is it, Dario? Not a
Grazie,
diet.
Sandra.
And ways that we can incorporate more vegetables into our life. We're going to go over olive oil again, and we have so many things to cover. So we're going to wait for people to come on, and as they're coming on, we're going to talk a little bit about what we've been up to over the last few months, because it's been very, very busy and kind of exciting.
Yes. No, it's been quite of an exciting journey.
Mm-hmm.
We learn as we go, how we say, but that's part of life. I mean, we've been away for, I guess, since December, I guess. Yeah, so it's been a lot of fun. We spend a lot of time all over the place and get inspired, and that's the biggest thing. We got to inspire every single day, because inspiration is what gets us going.
We've been to various countries, and we've really understood some of the products that different places have,
Right.
The applications, the recipes. I mean,
Right.
A lot of the stuff you've known already. We've done a lot of research as we've been away. In Italy, we're working with the European Union. We're doing a lot on fruits and vegetables. The olive oil, of course. We talk a little bit about flour, which is really important too. Dario is actually going to be at Cial, which is the food innovation show in Toronto, showcasing a few dishes that you can use fruits and vegetables for.
Right.
And also you're doing 2 master classes at Italy. I think that those are sold out already, but reach out to info@oliveyourlife.org just in case there's something available there.
Yes.
But as well, we're going to be showing and giving you some ideas over the next 3 episodes, because we have so many things to discuss. So the next 3 episodes, we will be going into more details and getting some more fruits and vegetables. We're going to be having kind of an even flow. What's the big smile for?
What do you guys think about our glasses? Isn't it cool?
No, it's kind of funny. They always say you're supposed to be somewhat subdued, and here I've got a shirt on with lemons. Well,
Which is limon.
We were just in Sorrento. We're in the Amalfi Coast in November, and this month. We were there this month. We're still in March, a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
So I thought it kind of, even though it kind of...
It fits.
Bloop, and then these glasses are a bit bloop. But you know what? I don't know if everybody knows, but
we can see clear now.
We can see clearly now. No, but these are new progressives, as they call them, and I'm still working through them, so I can see distance. I can see somewhat close. I'm still working through it, and also I don't know if everybody knows, but I don't see with one of my eyes. But that's a whole other story. So adjusting to all of that.
Unfortunately, now she can see me, which is a problem right there.
Yeah. See up close there, I can see all those things. Anyway,
but I can see anything. I cannot see anything, but it's okay.
You're going to have to get some progressive too.
That's right.
That is what happens as we get older.
No, as we get younger in a different way. So this is not about getting older, it's about getting younger in a different way.
My purse has gotten bigger because I have so many glasses in there that I have to work through.
Anyway, let's talk about...
Yeah, so I think some people are on now, so we will get into a little bit more details. But if there's any questions that you have over the next 3 episodes, please send us a message. Also, some people had talked about Sunday not working for them. So if Sunday's a problem, because we do put the replay in as well for the next day, if Sunday's a problem, then just tell us, because it seems to work for many. And if you can't make it, you're going to church or whatever that is, or you're calling it a family day. I mean, to me, watching this is not work. It's a family thing. It's about the Mediterranean lifestyle and bringing more health happiness, and inspiration to your life.
Right.
So it is kind of a family thing. But anyway, if we get a lot of people that tell us that they don't want to have the Sunday, we will change it. And we're planning on doing this for every week moving forward. Maybe a couple that we're not. But anyway, we are going to first, and I think in this episode, because you want to try and keep them to 30 minutes,
right.
Talk about the myths. The myth to the Mediterranean diet, which we are totally against. And some people had asked some questions, and so we wanted to go over them. The one big buster, I think, is it's just about food.
Right.
To me, the Mediterranean lifestyle is the 8 principles, and that's what we have our book online, our free book online about. And it's not just about food. That's just a small portion of it, and it's not about restriction, right?
Definitely not. Definitely not restriction. I mean, it's about balance. Balanced eating resourcefully, eating what you have around yourself. Restriction are not part of the Mediterranean culture. Let's put it that way. I mean, we were just down in Italy, and we were eating all beautiful, fresh product in season. And although we ate a lot, because it was part of an event we were doing, it was healthy, good product. Example, we were in Sicily at this time of the year. There is artichoke, incredible amount of artichoke at the market. So that's what you eat at that specific time of the year. You're not going to eat artichoke in the middle of summer because sometimes they're not going to be there, right? So in balance and in season, allow Mother Earth to eat what is out there, but it's not a diet.
No, it's not a diet, because diets are restrictions. And it's interesting you talk about in season, because of the reason why I have my lemon on already as well. Oh, I dropped my microphone.
Oh, that's okay. Bong.
The lemons is one of my favorite dishes, and I still dream about it today. And we have to recreate it. We have to recreate it. It was a tagliatelle.
It was a tagliolini al limone.
Oh my gosh! I still crave it. So I had it in November at this restaurant, and then I had it again in where we went in March, and we have to recreate that dish.
It was and this is the simplicity of something. You're talking about. It's these old restaurants in Sorrento. Well, old restaurant is a restaurant, and it's a gorgeous restaurant, but it's been there for so long, and the simplicity of that product really speaks himself. Good product, good quality, simple execution, give you an outstanding outcome, and that is such of a memory for Anita, because when we went there in November, she told everyone when we went back in March, you must have that. And of course, everybody else were just in awe about it, because it is a beautiful dish, but it's, again, one ingredient, perfect, then it can be well executed and give you good nutrition, and it's healthy.
I'm going to share the picture of it in Instagram and Facebook. I think tomorrow we may go over it. So one of the myths that has been told out there, that it's just about olive oil, the Mediterranean lifestyle. Olive oil is so important. It is liquid gold, as they call it. It's interesting. I watched a program the other day, and they were talking about, and Dario already knew this before, but I always thought of olive oil, you can't go to too high of a point for cooking. So I would use a lot of coconut oil, which is also on the list. So it had olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, it had avocado oil, and it had coconut oil as the highest to go with. And there's so much research that I checked in that went behind this, and olive oil had bumped up the list because it can go to a higher point of cooking, so you can use it. Avocado oil is also very good. It's not as readily available. And coconut oil is also very good. I use it more for baking or making crepes or something like that now than I would for many other things. But it's also, coconut oil is high in saturated fat and calories. So that you have to kind of keep in mind as well. But some people, that's what they think, it's only about olive oil. And we will get more in depth about olive oil. And if there's any questions that you have. Did you have anything else to talk about that myth, Dario?
Well, I mean, olive oil, we look, let's just look at ourselves. I mean, we look more, we use a lot of olive oil in our cooking. But as Anita said, it's not just about olive oil. Olive oil is a component, is a condiment, we call it. It's a finishing condiment, is a flavor essence that is part of the culture. But it's so much more. It's fruit, it's vegetable, it's green, it's citrus. There is so many things as you go in the Mediterranean. And let's not forget here that the Mediterranean is not just Italy. I mean, you can go to the south of Spain, you can go to France, you can go to Turkey. There is so many incredible products that put us in awe. Dry fruits, incorporation of dry fruits. I mean, you look into the history, for example, of the Italian culture, of the Mediterranean culture. If you go to the south of the Mediterranean part, you have a lot of influence from the African culture, from Morocco. So you have nuts and grains and dry fruits. Then they're excellent part for our diet or our consumptions. So, and you see a lot of influence in not just in Italian cuisine, but on Spanish cuisine or in the French cuisine. So
and Greek.
And Greek also, yes, yeah. Yes, sorry, yeah, that's another thing. Cheeses in consumption. I mean, this is the other thing. Why we cannot have dairy? Well, the only thing you cannot have dairy is if you are intolerant. But if you use good dairy, like for example yogurts. I mean, you look at Greece and there are a lot of yogurts. Okay, then they are still good. Again, everything is in moderation.
It's so true. You talk about moderation with dairy. So there was a point in my life that I was drinking milk by the gallon. I was drinking, I don't know how many glasses.
And I cannot do that.
And I loved it. But what happened was I built that intolerance because I was I was drinking it so much that I ended up having problems with it. But as I started to take away a little bit, when I have it on the occasion, it's not a problem for me. So I think, again, it's everything that's in balance, what Dario is talking about, that's so important. The other myth, so the olive oil was one. The other myth is it's a low-fat diet, and it's not. It's about balance, and it's about, as we've learned as time has gone on, that we need fats within our body. And if you look at the Mediterranean way, they don't think about restriction. Yes, they have meat maybe once a week.
Yeah.
They have more grains. They have more legumes. They get their proteins through fish, and that's just their way of living, right? So they don't restrict anything. They look to what's in season. They look to what's around them, and they don't restrict and buy the low-fat this and the low-fat that. And we've known over time that the industry, what they've done is they've put in low-fat, but then they added sugar. So they're kind of like manipulating us a bit. We want everything that comes fresh from source, and that's the best way to do it. So when you think of the Mediterranean diet, which we don't call a diet, we call it a balanced way of eating. It's not called for low fat. We need all that in our bodies. Our bodies are meant to have things that way.
I want to add something to it.
I know you would.
Mediterranean diet, and it's funny because I just discovered all this. We were in the south of Italy, and we were having a conference with a very interesting, fascinating man. Then he was the president of the consortium of this olive oil, and we were talking about this myth of Mediterranean diet. And he says, "Do you know where Mediterranean diet was named from?" I said, "Actually, no, I don't." Well, it was an American general, I think, was it? Then during the war, then it was in the southern part of Italy, and all the soldiers were extremely tired all the time because of battling, and they were getting sick. And he was looking at all these Italian farmers, really stocky, working hard, and he says, and he went to the farmer, I guess, and he says, "How is your worker have all this energy and they're working so many hours?" And he says, "Well, we eat what is around us, vegetations. We don't eat just meat, or we just eat good product." And it is not we don't just eat a small amount. We just eat whatever is there, and we have our own olive oil. We have our own wines. We have our own things, and that is really keep us going. So, and it's funny because he said he then tried to do this. He made basically soldier eating exactly the same type of food. I hate to use the word diet. And
way of eating, I think, is
the way of eating, and he says, well, now this is a good way to have a Mediterranean diet. So right off the bat, we were having this debate, and I said, yeah, it's great, but those farmers, they were not having a specific diet. They were eating exactly what is around them, and that is very much to the point of eating healthy. It's not detracting yourself from eating or dieting. It's eating good product, the less amount of saturated fat, in season, and what the land is giving you. And of course, in moderation. It's like wine. Doesn't matter if you have an homemade wine. If you have 10 bottles of wine, you're gonna get sick.
I think that's one of the points that's in here that somebody.
You can't do that. But if you have a good wine, properly processed, well done, if you maybe eat more than normal, I'll probably guarantee you that the next day you might not have a headache. Okay, because there is not any processed item in it. So that was my thing. Then I got, when we were there in October, then we were having this debate and about how strong an thing about what is the Mediterranean diet. There is no such a thing of a diet. It's a Mediterranean way of living.
The Mediterranean lifestyle. And it's interesting you bring that up about that gentleman and the debates that we had on that, because it kind of opened up his eyes a bit too. And he said, yeah, you're right. We've kind of commercialized the American way. And, another thing that I notice is whenever I go to Italy, Greece, France, Spain, a lot of different places, people take time to eat. They take time to eat slowly. I don't know how many people have told me they're like, we're dying to get the bill at the restaurant and everyone's still sitting. But they take that time to slow down and eat. So you know what happens? It takes 20 minutes to feel full. So you don't overeat. What happens here in North America, I'm finding, and I've done that too, where it's like, oh no, we got to eat as we're working, as we're doing the next thing. We're throwing something down our throat. We overeat because the sensation for feeling full hasn't come to us yet. And so when we say eat in balance, everyone's like, well, what is that? I need to know. Is it an apple? It's till you feel full. It is really until you feel full. It's not something that is they weigh a gram of this and within that day. It's till your body feels full, because everyone is different. And so if we could spend more time eating together as families and with friends and take that time enjoying it and go, okay, you know what? I don't need any more full. I don't need any more food, right? I already feel full. That's what's important, right?
It's just discovering your fuels, I call it.
Yeah.
Your fuels, it's your food. Like, I don't know how many times you guys heard me say, we spend more time figuring out what kind of fuel to put into our car than the fuel that we put into our body. But, it's like going to places like we were in Sicily and going to this farmer and really realizing the joy of eating. We need to gain again the joy of eating, because sometimes we feel like, oh, I shouldn't be eating that. Or no, it's the joy of eating good food. I had the most memorable plate of pasta underneath the Etna in March, then I will never forget, ever. And it was called pasta alla norma, which is basically it's classical pasta from the area, with fresh tomato, eggplant, and salted ricotta. 3 elements. But the tomato were right underneath from the area of the the Etna. Sorry.
The soil is so enriched. Yeah.
I mean, I could have ate a part of it, which is not part of the Mediterranean way of living because it's in moderation.
So
but it was sweet. It was delicious. It had flavors. The eggplant tasted like eggplant. And, and finish with the ricotta salata. Then is a typical.
It was a delicious dish.
That was something extremely simple.
A memory.
A great memory that I will never forget. And how many times I've seen it, how many times I've eaten it all over, and how many times I've made it. But it was never as good as that because the product was a specific product from the area, and it was just specific.
The last episode of the 3 series, we're going to be going through different types of products and way to cook things.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we extend the Anita and Dario show and we get into those 2 recipes.
Yeah, that'd be
the
great.
Lemon recipe and the eggplant recipe. I think that might be a good thing to add on to the end. So tell us if that's something you want in the comments below, if that's something that interests you. Another thing that we talk about is it's expensive. People have talked about the Mediterranean diet, way of living, as we call it, is expensive. It's not. I mean, how many times do you remake the same thing? Or you can, look at legumes, you can look at seeds, you don't have as much meat. What's a big smirk on your face?
Because again, you see, this is the way we work well together. Because she really knows exactly where I'm going next. Because that was the experience in the Bahamas. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think I'm done. It's on to you, dear.
So we were down in the Bahamas. We've been guests for the past, I think, 3 years, and for the Food and Film Festival, Devour. And
for guests, you're working.
Well, we're guests and working, I guess.
And
so one of the dishes we were doing on a master class.
Oh, this was so good! Oh my gosh!
But this is the mental.
That's another one we have to.
So one of the dishes then I was making is this pasta called capunti. So capunti basically is a pasta made with flour and water, and it looked like the inside of a pea pod. So it's done by hand, obviously, but the sauce, we call it eggplant meatball. So it was totally vegetarian. It was no meat. It was smoked eggplant with provola, a bunch of stuff. Anyway, so my point is, we're doing the masterclass, and it is all these people in it, and some of these guys really meat eaters. They're there saying, I love my meat, I love my meatball. That's what. And I kept repeating during the class. Well, here is the ingredients: is the eggplant, is the provola, is the parsley, this and that. And then we do a sauce that is called acqua pazza, which is crazy water with
very good
all the Mediterranean flavors: fresh tomato, anchovies, garlic. Anyway, so the dish comes out. We make the pasta. It's out there, and people are devouring it. This gentleman, one of these guys, comes to me, lovely man, and he says, "Holy mackerel! This is the best meatballs I've ever eaten. What kind of meat did you put in?" I looked at him and said, "There's no meat. That's impossible." I said, "No, well, there is no meat. I mean, here's the recipe. You haven't read it."
Oh, I gotta be on the other side of that. I gotta explain my part too.
Anyway, so the guy is looking at it and he says, "That was the most incredible dish of meatball without meat that I've ever tried." So we are. Our brain is built in a way that we have to have things, but we don't realize sometimes how many other things like legume, like vegetable, can really satisfy us without having the common things that we think that is good for us.
I'm dying to step in here because
Go for it.
I was on the other side of that.
Yeah, that's right.
And to tell you the truth, Dario had created this recipe, had done this without me knowing anything. So he had submitted everything, and it said meatballs with eggplant. Now, I'm sorry, when I think of meatballs with eggplant, I think that there's meatballs, and then the eggplant is in the sauce. So everyone, of course, is coming up to me thinking, oh, I know what's going on. And I'm like, yeah, I guess he didn't put the part of how to make the meatballs in the recipe. And because of the smokiness that you created and the texture that was in it, it was like a meatball. And this is the example of how you can add vegetables to your life and not as much meat. It's much healthier. As we know, the food guy wants half of your plate to be vegetables. So this dish was unbelievable. And until we can like maybe showcase it sometime, like do an event to create it so people can taste it or do the recipe online. I think we should actually do an event to do this, because unless you actually experience it and taste it, so keep them open for that one, because I think you need to recreate that one, because it was really unbelievable how many people, and including me, because I didn't understand what he was doing, and people were coming to me with the recipe too, and I was on the other side, so I know exactly what he's talking about.
Well, and in one way is, blame the fuzzy corner. I mean, that's okay. I mean, would you have called it eggplant balls? No. So I thought, and I never thought about it until after this. Yeah, that isn't. But my point is, it's with the little fun of word, we created something that it was totally healthy, because really, at the end of the day, out of the anchovies, there was nothing else. They were all basically vegetable based.
Yeah.
And the dairy from the provola and all that. But how can you be fulfilled with such of a beautiful dish? And then brings me back again to a couple of weeks ago being at the foot of Mount Etna and had the wonderful pasta with eggplant, tomato, and salted ricotta. I mean, it's the simple things then allow us to be healthier, eating well, have more energy. That's what it really. It's the exciting part of this.
So we're running close to. We've only got 3 minutes left to keep it to half an hour. So I think I'm just going to do one more Mythbuster, and then the rest we're going to do for next week. I want to keep it to half an hour for people.
Do we talk too much?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
And hopefully everyone enjoys that. It's only for weight loss. The Mediterranean way of living is only for weight loss, and we know that is not true. It's for health, happiness, and inspired living, because it's not just about the way of eating.
No.
It's not about all of that. And once you incorporate and change that mindset to being more active, connecting more with others, having more purpose, and waking up with vigor every morning, as far as the cooking thing that we're talking here, putting more healthy things in your diet, putting into the way you're eating, put things into to natural, look what's in season, those kind of things. It's not for just a weight loss. How many times do you go to the doctor and they talk about diabetes, they talk about cholesterol, they talk about the Mediterranean way of living, and that's incorporated. It's a lifestyle living, it's functional medicine, it's about all of those things that you just enjoy life. And that's what we're forgetting to do, is just enjoy life, eat in balance, be happy, enjoy, inspired living,
and just enjoy every single moment. That's exactly it. Really enjoy. It's for myself. Every single time I go back in the Mediterranean, but it's not just the Mediterranean. I really rediscover something new every single day. We were down there with some journalists, and we were walking around, and a journalist, then it was with us. He said, I can't get over this. And he says, we are in this market, and that is the most incredible product that I've never seen. I never seen artichoke come out like this. Yeah, because artichoke don't come just in a head; they come with a long stem.
Yeah.
And he said, 15 artichoke for €3. How can it be possible? It is, because it's in season, right? So you can fill up your bag of beautiful, delicious product. And we can do that everywhere. We can really do ourselves, whatever you are, if you are curious.
the Mediterranean lifestyle from anywhere. So next week, we're going to get more into detail on the myths of the Mediterranean diet. It's not a diet, it's a way of living. We have a book called The Magic to the Mediterranean Lifestyle. It's free at oliveyourlife.org. Go on over there. This week, we'll be sharing some of the recipes we're talking about, the things that we've experienced on our travels, so you can take a look.
Right.
I'm sure I have a picture somewhere of that eggplant meatball dish. And you know what? I think maybe we'll create some kind of an adventure on that, because it was so wonderful. Then we're going to get more into actual vegetables and how we cook them. I've had so many questions asking about artichokes. How do we cook them? Different vegetables so that they're delicious and they keep their nutrients. That's really important as well. We're going to get more into depth about olive oil. If there's any other questions that you have, that's so important. Cooking techniques, and then what you look to having in the kitchen. So this is kind of more of a kitchen series that we're going to go through. Going to get into the one principle of the Mediterranean lifestyle, which is balanced eating. Some more recipes and ideas around the Mediterranean kitchen, and add in the comments below if there's anything else, and then we will see you next week at 10 o'clock. So anything else you want to add, Dario?
Well, make sure you eat your vegetables. We'll see you next week. Enjoy every moment together at the table, because alla tavola non si invecchia.
Ciao, everybody. Have a great Sunday.
Bye-bye.
The Anita and Dario Show. The art of savoring, discovering how to fully indulge in the present moment, savoring every experience, every morsel, and every breath, unlocking the deeper appreciation for the beauty of life and the Mediterranean lifestyle.
Oh, live your life. Get inspired and cherish moments with food, travel, cooking, the Mediterranean way.